So, for folks aware, what we're thinking of doing here is we are going to kick things off with a live CodeAssist demo. During the demo, you guys questions, anything you're confused about. We really want to use this as an opportunity to try and answer as many community questions as we can in real time. And so we'll be doing a live demo for the first little bit, and then we're going to open it up like the standard FAQ format. But the special guests we got today are we have Eamon, we have Ben, and we have Harry all in here. So you guys have quite a loaded panel. So we're gonna probably let maybe 600 or 700 people jump in here, and then we will kick things off. So obviously, any questions, comments, concerns you have as we're going through it, feel free to drop questions in the chat. We have several of our moderators watching, so we'll make sure to take note and answer as many as we can throughout the process. Appreciate you guys. I think while we're going about that, if everyone who's on stage wants to give a quick intro of who you are, feel free to jump in and we'll let this fill up with the last maybe 60, 70 people before we kick things off. Gabe, if you want to go first, I'm just going to go based on who my screen is. So Gabe, Eamon, Xavier, Judson, Ben, Harry.
Sounds great. Yeah, so my name is Gabe, Gab, Gabriel, whatever y'all prefer. We met last time we did the AMA. I'm a researcher here at Gensyn. I've been working on multi-agent RL, things like Swarm, and most recently CodeAssist, which spoilers, I guess. Yeah, pleasure to meet everyone again.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Eamon. I'm an engineer at Gensyn. I helped out with the CodeAssist project, and really looking forward to this AMA today.
Xavier, you're so quiet. You got to introduce yourself now. They're seeing enough of you.
I couldn't remember the order that you called out. Everyone, I'm Xavier. You've seen me out there as X for quite some time, and I'm now. You're going to hear a lot more from me very, very soon, as I'll be joining Gensyn to look after you guys, look after the community.
Glad to have you, buddy. Judson?
Yes, sir. My name is Judson. I'm a developer advocate here at Gensyn. You guys have probably seen me around as Penthouse Bagels, active in some of the support forums. Been working a lot closely with CodeAssist for this launch and working on the docs and everything like that. So looking forward to unblocking you guys and getting you guys set up with CodeAssist and any of our other apps. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about CodeAssist or go over to the CodeAssist channel. But super good to be here. Already loving the energy in the chat, and I think we're gonna break our previous AMA record.
And then Ben and/or Harry, whichever you guys.
Hey folks, I'm Ben, co-founder and CEO of Gensyn. You may have heard from me before, but yeah, very happy to be here chatting with you again. The demo should be really exciting, so please do, once you've seen the demo, try out CodeAssist, like give us all of your feedback. We want to hear it, and yeah, enjoy the chat.
Cool. I'm Harry, co-founder, CTO. Just want to underscore Ben's points. As you guys are joining the session, and also Ben and I are tied 14 to 14 votes for favorite Gensyn co-founder. So we just set a couple votes on the Harry option. Right, cheers.
Did you do that poll again? I think we know how that went last time.
I think I won last.
Yeah, I think you did. We got to unseat Austin as the favorite Gensyn. There's more people to be in the list now, though. There's way more people on stage. So, yeah, we got to run that again and see what happens. I think Xavier's got a very strong chance here.
If it's a repeat of last time, Harry will be filling the chat with polls, and we have a lot more people in the audience this time. So feel free to go ahead and comment in there. I think we're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. Gabe, if you're about ready. A few housekeeping notes. One, please send a link to all your friends. Let's get them in here. If we hit 1,000, got something special for you guys. We're only about 250 away now. Make sure to take screenshots and share on Twitter, share around there, and then give CodeAssist a shot. So super glad you guys are hanging out with us here. let's go ahead and get his screen up there, Xavier, and then let's run through it.
All right, I think I have the screen sharing. Everyone should see the GitHub repo.
Yeah, it's looking
Is
good.
that true? Cool. Yeah, let's get started. Historically, live coding demos always go great, so give me some grace here. Yeah, so what you get when you get to the repo, this is what you're going to see at first. Scroll down to the README and follow the installation guide. I've already done some of these steps along the way, so you'll have to do them. For example, the brew install of UV, cloning the Git repo itself, and then going into the directory once you have it there. And with that, let me emulate what it will look like. I think y'all can see my terminal. Yes. I'm going to take silence as a yes. So open up your terminal, and you're going to have to run the command uv run.py. Once you're inside of the CodeAssist directory, you'll get something like this to show up. You'll get the big CodeAssist logo, and then the first time around, this will take a little while longer because we're getting these Docker containers set up. I've already run it, so it's a little faster the second time around. You'll also, the first time around, be asked for a Hugging Face token. This is just so you have somewhere to store your models after the fact. Super users can go find a special flag for skipping the Hugging Face token, but you don't need to do
Real
that.
quick, don't want to interrupt
It's
you,
for
buddy.
faster.
Xavier, can we make the sharing screen full screen for everyone? I think some folks are having trouble seeing it. Are we able to have that override us?
That's I don't know that I can override. Users can click on it and that should maximize.
Okay, cool. If you want to paste the instructions on how to do that, we were getting a ton of questions.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, with Discord, you just have to click on the actual screen, and then it gives you the option of focusing on that one. Because I think most people are technically supposed to be able to stream at once for things like games. So anyhow, are we ready to keep going?
Yep. Sorry about that.
No worries. So yeah, once you actually run that uv run.py command, like I said, you get these things that come up. Eventually, you'll have something that says a browser should have opened, and it gives you this link, which is localhost at port 3000. If you don't have it open automatically, just put that into your browser. You should be ready to rock and roll after that. But in my case, it did just show up. So let me go ahead and do that. What you'll see is a tab like this. Okay. Those who have done any Elite code, you'll be familiar with this general setup. It might even trigger a little bit of PTSD because it's very common to be something that you do in coding interviews. Try to approach CodeAssist not as an interview. The goal is not to be moving as fast as possible. It's not to solve as many of these questions as possible, etc. The goal is to train an assistant. So go into it really honestly, like chilling out. Try to have fun with it. Try to just interact with your assistant, get your assistant to do what you want. And I'll go more into that in a second. So generally, you'd read the question, and I'll try to just do it real quick. But let's see if I can actually read what I'm supposed to do here. Give me 1 second.
While he's doing that, whoever
Okay,
shared what
cool.
looked like a Gensyn customized GPU box in the chat, that thing is sick. Very cool. Go ahead, Gabe.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this one I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through the whole code exercise. The main thing is to show you guys CodeAssist. But yeah, the key here is as I start typing, I can do something like this. Leave a comment and say, find the letter in letter where ord L is less than or equal to target, something like that. And once you press enter and you start typing and you give it time, you'll notice in the bottom left of this screen that I coded in, there's little 3 dots that go back and forth. What happened there is that's showing you that the model's thinking. one of two things will happen. Once it finishes doing that little flashing icon, eventually a code like text will just appear, which is where the assistant has chosen to try to assist you. Or it'll just kind of go flat. If it goes flat, that's the assistant saying, I have no idea what you're doing, which is a feature, actually. It's what we call no-opping. And basically, your assistant has no idea what the question is. It only sees what you've been typing. So what you've typed up here is the only thing that the assistant knows about in this world. And so if it doesn't know enough about the problem to try to solve it or even try to add anything, it just says, all right, can you give me some more context? Can you do something? Once it thinks it knows enough to help you, it'll start giving you code like it just did with me. Anyhow, so the assistant throws in the code, and you can do a few things. You can leave it there, you can delete it, you can edit part of it. So I can say, no, actually, this should have been targets 0 or 1 or whatever. By doing this and interacting with this assistant organically, a few things can happen. Oh, by the way, another pro tip while I use this is that if you press Shift and Space, you can pause the assistant, which is the same as also clicking this little button down here. So I'm going to pause it so I can talk through this. So as you interact with the assistant, you can delete its lines. If you delete it immediately, that's a punishment to the assistant. If you delete it eventually, that's a smaller punishment, but still a punishment. If you leave the line, it's a reward for it. Using these signals, it's going to try and learn what you like, what you don't like, how to interact with you, and so forth. And eventually, after I record a few of these episodes, it should start getting tailored to me, but not immediately, only after I exit out of the tab and Control C, but I'll show you that in a second. So I'm getting ahead of myself here, sorry. But yeah, so I interact with the assistant. I click submit in this case to see if it actually solved the problem. If I think it did, it throws up this error window. You can move that up and down. This error window is going to be telling you things like what the test cases are that I passed one test case or two of them, you can see here, out of 50. It tells you what the input is and what the output was. I seem to not have caught some situation. And yeah, what I think is happening is I need to do something like this: return letters, and then let's see if it does it for me. But yeah, the idea is just that the assistant will get better. See, it just did something really useless for me there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and say 0. Oop, what did I do here? And I'll submit that. Okay, now I have some letter target. What? Oh right, I forgot I changed that. That's my bad. All right, so you see this error code down here that tells you that there was gives you some idea of the error that happened. And let's try to submit that and see what happens. Has not solved it yet, but we made it through a lot of test cases here. Anyhow, the idea is that once I record, eventually I will solve this. I will get a prompt that tells me, hey, do you want to move on to another question, or do you want to go train? You don't need to actually finish the questions, but I do recommend getting through about 5 questions where you earnestly go back and forth with the assistant, give it some data to try, and then yeah, once you get done, I'm gonna ignore all the solve bullying by Ben here. Not doing the leak code. I don't actually know what the question is. I think we're pretty close though. It's driving me nuts. I know we're pretty close. But anyhow, so I'm gonna cancel out. I'm ready to train. In this case, you go back to your terminal once you're ready, and you hit Control C. When you hit Control C, it's going to it's going to basically wait for the tester queue, which is basically going through all the actions that you took with your assistant. It's going to check if, did it compile, did it do these things, which is then useful for the model's training itself. And once it gets done with this, it's going to kick up the training script. It'll go through a round of training. It'll train on the episodes that you recorded, nobody else's, nothing else. And the next time you start up using uv run.py, it'll actually be your model that was trained on your episodes that you recorded. That baseline model that I just used is one that I trained using just very generic sort of behavior. I've been describing it as like the most boring assistant possible. It just kind of does stuff. The idea is just to get you started, get the ball rolling, letting you kind of start interacting with it and give it the signals that you need it to give. I didn't want something that was too slow and non-responsive. I want something that was really snappy and kept putting things on screen so that you can correct it and make it so that it starts doing what you want. But yeah, so with that, it finished training. You see that uploaded to Hugging Face, and I can run uv run.py again. And it will open up the browser in a second. And we'll have a different assistant this time. In this case, the assistant, I have a feeling, will only be writing code because I let it do whatever it wanted, and I think it only wrote code this time. So if we give it a second, I can show you what that looks like again. I can say, do something, please, and let's see what it does. I have a feeling it takes about 3 seconds, by the way, after you stop doing anything for it to do something. Oh, it actually no-opt. That's something that could happen as well. That's because I didn't give it many signals. I can try to say, we want kids with most candy. Let's try that and see if it reacts to me. Yeah, because I basically gave it very little signals. I actually deleted some of its white space and so on. I punished it. It's afraid to do anything. So what would happen now is that it's going to no up a few times. In this scenario, what I suggest you do is just honestly record episodes where you actually just let it no up. If you have an assistant that's too scared to move because you punished it too much, that's okay. Just try to give it stuff until it does do it. There's actually a penalty in there where if it no ops many times in a row, it goes from being a very soft reward to being a very good like a very very bad punishment. And look, it solved it all on its own. So yeah, there is this. See, it says problem solved successfully, and I have these two options. I can stay on here, optimize the problem if I really feel like it. I could go try another problem, or I could go train. Any of those are options. But yeah, that's CodeAssist. I'll leave it at that for now. But please check it out. Send us any feedback. There'll be more details soon, but we're going to try and do a lot of this in the open and include everyone. So send us your feedback. We want to make this. We want to learn how you like to interact with your assistant. We want to learn what you want from the app and so forth. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Gabe. If everyone could give Gabe a quick reaction emoji meme in the comments real quick, just to let him know that you guys appreciate him taking the time to do that and all the work that they've put into this. There's been a massive, massive team effort to make this happen. So yeah, just amazing work. So thank you guys. We are 28, 27 away from 1,000, which is incredible. As we kind of start to gather some questions and we start to get some things to answer in real time, Gabe or potentially Eamon, is there anything that you guys specifically want everyone here to know about CodeAssist? Anything that you think they should be aware of getting into it, or any nuances that coming into this will kind of help them get started any quicker?
Yeah. Gabe, do you want to talk about the frozen LLM and a little bit of how that works?
Yeah, totally. Let me go through a few things. So yeah, first of all, thanks, Eamon. That's a really good good framing here. I think that the key here is a few things. It's a fewfold. First of all, this is really a research prototype. You guys are engaging in like really like this is the research is starting with this release. So it's going to be a lot of fun in working with y'all and getting this to work properly and kind of take everything into account. How it really works, what's happening under the hood is you have an assistant that is trying to learn where, when, and how to interact with you. That assistant is a tiny little model. It's like 10 million parameters compared to the trillions that is ChatGPT, compared to the billions that is many LLMs you interact with in your day-to-day. This model, it only, like I said, it only learns how, when, and where to interact with you. And what it does when it chooses where and when is it calls on a frozen coding LLM, a tiny little LLM that is locally run on your machine, and it tries to execute it basically chooses the prompt and the LLM, and then it signals, hey, go write code on this line to that LLM. That LLM does what it does. The assistant then gets your feedback and says, okay, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have called it there in that way, etc. The options it has is things like leave comment on this line, write a single line of code, write a multi-line of code, edit some line somewhere in the file, that sort of thing. And yeah, so basically with CodeAssist, it's splitting decision making and action taking, which is a really big thing here. A lot of times, like products try to wrap both of these things at once. But CodeAssist is a little different in the sense that it says, no. Everyone else is in an AI arms race. There's going to be domain-specific tools for whatever you want to do. There are coding models that are specialized in Rust, and you want to write Rust code. There are coding models that are great at leaving comments, but they aren't very good at actually writing the code itself. with CodeAssist, our goal is to make it so that we're a little more flexible. We can use all these tools without having to change the entire tool itself. It tailors how to interact with you and which tools you want to use. So the key here is that in this first release, though, it's pretty limited. It's just a small local model, and we want to basically lock in what the UI UX feels like. We want to lock in how people like to interact with the assistants, what it might be missing, and yeah, just have fun with it, interact with it earnestly. I think that's the key here.
Excellent. Thank you, Gabe. I don't know if anyone else here has anything they wanted to cover on that, or was that a sneeze?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to answer a question I saw in the comments of how big the model is. Underlying, this is all in the source code, so you're welcome to take a look. But the frozen LLM is Quen 2.5 0.5b, so 500 million parameters. In the future, we have thoughts about potentially using allowing larger models to be used, allowing different models to be used, but right now it's a Quen model.
Amazing, thank you. And then I wanted to start throwing a couple questions out while we handle a few other things. Thank you, Judson and Xavier, for keeping track. Guys, keep sending your questions in the comments. We have a running doc where we're going to be trying to get through as many as we can for you guys as we just sit 10, 15 below 1,000, which drives me crazy. But we're getting close. We did get a question about Ben. They addressed it specifically for you, but I guess anyone could answer this. If CodeAssist will ever be made available for non-Docker installations. So for anyone that's running a VPS setup, will there ever be the ability to run CodeAssist?
I would defer to Eamon probably for that one. I
Yes.
would say it probably depends on how much people shout about it, but I'll again defer to Eamon.
Yeah, at the moment, we built it with Docker to make the dependencies, the dependency management easier. If it turns into a strong demand that we want something that runs outside of Docker, is something we can definitely look into. But at the moment, we are focusing on Docker to keep all the dependencies and the code and everything nicely packaged. With that said, if you want to run this on a VPS, you can tunnel out the connection, but that's a little bit on the advanced side. I'm sure that someone will make a guide at some point for how to do it, though.
There you go. That was a request for someone to make a guide and share it in the chat. And as always, for anyone that's making guides, supporting, we have t-shirts and goodies. And Harry mentioned he might even draw a picture of you if you end up making a guide that we add to any of our documentation.
Yep, that's a valid offer. I definitely said that. So if you create a good guide, I'll maybe get the old oil paints back out and skin something
Well,
up.
if we could get that quoted and tweeted so we can hold him accountable, I'd really appreciate it. So I'm sure one of the 994 people in here could make sure that we quote Harry on that and get that posted. Running for the next one, people were asking about the ability to run on weaker graphics cards and any optimizations to know around that.
Yeah, at the moment, CodeAssist does not require a GPU. The training can take advantage of one. It's just going to be a little bit slow on CPU, but should be fine on CPU as long as you have enough RAM to run the local LLM, which we targeted about 8 gigs of system memory as a minimum. And
you really should need a GPU for training. It's a tiny model. Even on CPU, it should zoom through the default settings.
Amazing. I think this is a big one, honestly, and I'm surprised we didn't get more of these. Can we go into a little bit more detail about how CodeAssist differs from Cursor? Like, what are the fundamental differences here, and why is this so much cooler?
Yeah, that one. Cursor, from my experience with these.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, Eamon, unless that's just
I
me.
am. Nope, that was me. My connection seems to have done something. Cursor and a lot of these other models are autocompletes, so they try and basically autocomplete the line that you're on, and they're built on that architecture. So they all understand what a line is and understand how to add more to that line. Whereas in this case, with CodeAssist, it's a lot closer to something like Google Docs editing, where there's a second person, a second thing that is editing the code. And so it's a fundamentally different interaction scheme than something like Cursor offers. I believe that's correct, at least. If anyone wants to correct me, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, to add some color on that, I really want to emphasize this as you interact with CodeAssist. This is something that I think people need to keep it in mind, I guess, as you go along. But CodeAssist is not an autocomplete tool like Cursor. It's not a point and shoot agent like Codex or Claude's agent mode. It's something that can do both of those things, but won't do either of them as well as those specialized tools for it. Instead, CodeAssist is something that honestly it's compatible with those. In the future, I imagine a thing where you can say, actually, for auto completing the current line, call on Cursor. For using something like agent mode, call on Codex, etc. But the idea is that CodeAssist is choosing when you want an autocomplete versus when you might want another line edited. Versus it's working with you. It's not just trying to make you faster. It's not trying to replace you. That's the short of it.
Yeah, I think I'd add a bit to that. Basically, if you think about the way we use ML models or AI models right now, there's a few kind of different ways that they help us. A lot of them are down that kind of like autonomous route where you instruct the model and then the model does something for you. A little bit like if in Cursor or Codex or something, you ask it to build something and then it builds something and you sort of check what it's built. CodeAssist is very different. It's not being instructed, it's not like acting on your behalf, it's actually just like helping you get better at what you're doing. We think this is a big part of the future of ML, it being native to us rather than us having to become task managers for this kind of agent. Actually, CodeAssist just like runs alongside you. It's pair programming with you like a human would, and you never actually have to tell it exactly what it needs to do. So it's very different in that sense that it's meant to be almost invisible in a way. It just makes what you're doing far more effective. And there'll be a lot of these things in the future with ways people build applications. So you can theoretically build any application to react in the same way to you. Like you could build a UI that sort of morphs around you and learns to assist you as you interact with the UI. And that could be in literally any application. You could do it in spreadsheets. You could do it in a word processor. Like it just makes your interaction with the technology better, more efficient, more effective, more natural, less sort of like jarring and deterministic, which we would say most of kind of technology has been for the past few decades.
Amazing. Thank you guys for all jumping in and answering that. Super appreciate it. I have one or two in the document that I'm looking at right now, and then I will leave it up to everything coming in through the chat. And then we have about 10, 15 more minutes left in the event. So make sure to ask all your questions on the side, answer Harry's polls. Let us know what we owe you guys for 1,000 of you. It is absolutely insane that 1,000 of you guys all showed up to come hang out with us, do a CodeAssist demo, ask questions. Like we super appreciate it. It's just absolutely insane to see the amount of people that are showing up to these things. So what do we got? This one kind of goes for everyone in the chat, but as a company, how does Gensyn look at community feedback when helping shape new features or tools? Like when we think about that as a company, honestly, Ben or Harry, this might be one for you guys. This is one we get almost every AMA, and I tend to ignore it, but this time we'll give it a shot. How do we think about taking in this feedback and allowing that to help us create better products for the community?
I mean, in the same way you could imagine any like product business doing that. Like we listen to the things that kind of bubble up through the Discord, like the requests for ways things work, ways to deploy things. I think Docker is a great example. We originally, this is quite a while ago now, but we originally launched something without a way of deploying via Docker, and then we got from everybody that it would just be far easier if we did have a Docker route, and then we kind of built that in. So the more people kind of talk about things, the more they essentially unite that feedback together and bubble it up, the more we'll take it into account and build it in. We do kind of watch everything, and as you've seen, like Xavier's joining us full time. Xavier spends an enormous amount of time in this Discord. He kind of chats to a lot of you, and then brings things through to the engineers on our team and the product people. So just shout about it, basically, what the features you want, the experiences you have. If you write up your experience of using one of our products in a kind of structured way, it will get read, and we will consider it. We might even reach out to you, depending on the information that's captured within it. So, like, please do keep giving us that feedback. We do act on it. But each individual piece of feedback, like there's 100,000 people in this Discord, we can't take into account individual pieces. It's when it sort of becomes more of a movement. And so if you guys all have the same opinion, bubble it up and we'll take it into account.
Respond to Turncrypt's question about when CodeAssist. This is something that we've been thinking about a lot, and I'd encourage you to stay tuned over the coming weeks. There's definitely a trading themed release in the offing.
Harry's going rogue. It wasn't me. You guys heard it from him first. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. We got one more in the document here, and then we will leave it to anything in the chat. So if you guys have any last minute questions about how this works, how to get started, obviously we have the CodeAssist support channel. So jump in there. We have several people that are already trained up that are more than willing to jump in and support you guys in getting started here. Use them. They're amazing, and they just want to help you guys be successful with the product. And I would say let's take one more from the chat and let's see what we got here. We're getting a couple of questions about how the agent within CodeAssist could potentially remediate situations where it might be scared to answer something, or it might be going in the wrong direction. People want to learn more about how that they should expect that to respond when working with it.
Yeah, so the first time around, as you interact with CodeAssist, you might be a little bullish on deleting it and punishing it, and then it starts to not react. What'll happen the next time you load up the app is, let's go into this hypothetical. Now it doesn't do anything. It only ever no ops. So what happens is, under the hood, every time it no ops, it's dinging up a counter. Every time it no ops in sequence, to be precise. And if it does enough no ops, the default is 2, then it stops getting a very light reward for being, conservative and being like, hey, you know what, let's see what they're up to. And on the third no op, it starts to punish it. On the fourth no op, it's a bigger punishment. On the fifth, even bigger. And this keeps growing until it's honestly like an overwhelming punishment. If this were to happen, even probably in one episode where it hits the max punishment by no-opping that many times, it probably is just not going to no-op the next time around as well. And so then it's going to start being really bullish about giving you code. Now you would start to interact with its code, say when it's wrong, when it's right, when you like what it's doing, when it's leaving comments, etc. And you might have a few training passes where you have this sort of these waves of learning that come back and forth. But eventually, you learn how you like to interact with your assistant. You get into kind of a flow with it, and your assistant has a lot of evidence of how you like to interact with it. And every time it goes into training afterwards, it's going to start getting better at accommodating what you're expecting. So the short answer is that with time, even if you have these ebbs and flows where it feels really good, doesn't feel so good, feels good in some ways, not in other ways, it will eventually start to feel good. The main limitation, and this is the big thing to remember, is that it doesn't actually write the code. So sometimes the assistant is actually choosing the right thing, but then the frozen model puts down the wrong thing, which is a little bit unfortunate for the assistant itself. In the future, we'll try to add support for smarter, bigger, etc. models. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add, but.
Yeah, using very emotional terms to describe this, I feel sad for the agent.
Well, it's trying to learn from the boss, right? It's just a really loyal little helper. It's actually one thing. It's a good way to talk about it. Actually, is that it has no agenda when it's interacting with you. So I would advise people to not have an agenda interacting with it as well. Earnestly tell it, like, when you interact with it, you communicate with it through the lines of code that are in the screen. So if you don't like something or you don't want something there, just get rid of it or change it partially. Pretend like you're pair programming with a friend and not just like something that you're experimenting with. by doing that, you will ultimately get that convergence, this equilibrium with your assistant fastest.
Amazing. Oh, Harry unmuted.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I think it's a different way of thinking about working with a system. It's less like unidirectional. Like right now, you know, if you use Claude Code or whatever, you're kind of telling it what to do. It has some autonomy, but you know, it's broadly kind of asymmetrical in your favor. This is like much more symmetrical in terms of, you know, you're working with it, like Gabe said, it's like a pair programmer.
Gabe, any reaction? Do we need to pull up the
I
box and
What was the disagreement? I think we're aligned.
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's
I'm
just
disagreeing
Harry's
with
just meaner to his friends.
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with him and plus one in what he says.
Ah, I thought you said
It-
disagree. I thought it was about to get spicy.
It sounds a lot like you're saying disagree.
I just agreed, which in my Scottish accent might have sounded like disagree. So I'm
I thought you were helping us crank up
disagree
the
also.
audience members.
maybe I need co-hosts to help me speak. Over to you, Austin.
Yeah. Eamon, do you want to take it right now? You saw a question that you wanted to address.
Yeah, there was a question about privacy. I don't remember. It's a little ways back, so I don't remember who said it. But with CodeAssist, the model is entirely local on your machine. The code is entirely local on your machine. The only place the model goes is if you decide to upload it to Hugging Face. It will get uploaded to Hugging Face, but we don't control any of CodeAssist that runs on your device. So there's no like we're not collecting all of the ways that you program to try and make some bigger, better model. This is entirely distributed, and it's not. We don't own it. It's a community thing.
Man,
on that idea of it being a community thing, I've said it a few times, but we're going to actually be doing we're using your interactions and any metrics that we gather from folks to build research. In the coming days, we're going to release a little report that basically formalizes all of CodeAssist, tells you really the nitty gritty, what gets you in the guts of what's going on from a machine learning perspective. And we will update this paper periodically with results, the good and the bad, with the insights, the good and the bad, and our learnings and what kind of what's changing with the technical side behind the scenes. We invite any collaboration, we invite any feedback, etc., because that's how we're going to get to the final version of this product eventually. And we will start adding more features to get the training pipeline to be much more robust and so on going forward. Right now, you can think of it as building the baseline. This is the worst it's going to be.
And speaking of papers, I think because we did break 1,000 people, we can let everyone know that there might be something more in depth coming. No promises, but Gabe is actively working on something for you guys to get into the more nitty gritty technical details of what's going on here. That is all we have for the current questions. I don't know if anyone who is on stage has anything they would like to share for the last couple minutes while we have 1,060 people in here.
Yeah, if I could just hop in to make a quick note. I am seeing some users reporting that they're having issues logging in with the direct email one-time passcode. We're looking into that right now, and so hopefully we'll be able to have an answer for that soon. But for the meantime, I would try to quit, restart, and try to log in with the Gmail authentication if that's possible.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, and I just wanted to jump in to say this has been a huge effort on the team internally, and so everyone internally has done an amazing job. I personally am super proud of where this has gotten to, and it's been absolutely awesome. And the community has been awesome supporting us with this. So super excited, super proud of all of this.
I do want to say that I'm currently on the Gensyn Twitter. I'm just looking and I'm seeing everyone's tweets come through. This is absolutely insane. We're going to do our best to engage with all these. So keep sharing, keep posting. But I'm seeing like dozens come in every time I refresh from folks that are in the AMA that are sharing with their friends. So the more that you guys share this out, the more people we can get in for the next time, the higher the chances we are of getting Ben and Harry and Gabe and Eamon to come back and talk to you guys. But this has just been absolutely incredible. I don't know, Ben, Harry, you guys have any closing comments you want to share with everyone in here?
Just thanks everyone for joining, and echo Eamon's points on how proud we are of CodeAssist. It's been a big effort internally to get this done. We saw the reaction you guys had to Block Assist. It was huge. We saw how much people liked it, the assistant concept. We're really glad people are engaging with it. It's a little bit heretical from us in terms of the AI approach. Like, it's not the approach that's taken by the big centralized labs. And so obviously we feel really strongly about it, but we needed to know that the community also felt strongly about it, and you guys reacted really strongly, which is why we're continuing to double down on it. So please continue to give us all your feedback on CodeAssist. There's been some questions in the chat about what you can do if you don't already know how to code. The way we've positioned CodeAssist is as it's almost like a coding tutor. It's like if you went to go and do coding exercises as you're learning to code, but the assistant kind of helps alongside you. It's still difficult. You'd still be learning to code by doing it, but it's an environment that can actually help teach you. So it should be open to everyone. If you find things really hard, then maybe kind of chat to other people, kind of Google things and see how you solve the problems. But you should actually be able to start picking up some of the kind of principles and foundations by using CodeAssist. And let us know if that does work for you or doesn't work, and we can take that into account for the difficulty of problems and things like that as we build it out further. But yeah, we want everyone to be able to use this. So please do give us your feedback. And thank you for being here and getting over 1,000 people into this chat, because it's massive.
And if
Yeah, I plus one to all that, and particularly we're a small team of people, so internally, yeah, we had a team dedicated on this, and they did a really fantastic job. And if you guys have any feedback for them, please push it in here in the Discord, on Twitter, or even in the GitHub issue if you so prefer. Cheers.
Yeah, just echoing all of that. Thank you guys so incredibly much. Like, a huge shout out to the entire team internally that's worked on this. A huge thank you to the community, all of you guys, for showing up, being a part of this. Like, the reason we're able to do this is because all of you guys, the support that you guys give us every time one of these new products comes out or new features comes out is absolutely insane. I can't stress enough just how cool it is to get 1,000 people together in our Discord to watch Gabe do a live demo, to ask questions. We're going to continue to do what we can to show up for you guys in that capacity, and just want to give it up for you guys. So in the comments section, everyone, just throw something in there real quick to just throw some support for everyone that shows up for this. Keep putting out the tweets, keep engaging, keep building community, and just know that we have a team extra staff to this whole week to support with CodeAssist questions. So we have a dedicated channel. Make sure you go in there, ask your questions. And then Judson also, as part of this launch, did a ton of effort into the documentation that's linked in the tweet. So make sure you check that out. We did our best to kind of walk through every possible situation that you would run into, but there are always going to be outliers. So you can just ask us directly in the Discord. We did get a snapshot and we did record this. So obviously, for everyone that shows up, we do our best to get something for you guys. Someone said in the comment that we want Gensyn underwear. I don't know if that's in the cards yet, but maybe if we get 2,000 people, we can get some Gensyn undies going for all you guys. But I think that is about time. Thank you guys for so much for joining. I hate that this chat always continues to grow right as we are ending, but they say to leave everyone wanting more, which is what we're going to continue doing. I don't know if anyone has any last comments. If not, I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Not sure if everyone's been paying attention to the chat, but we really need Ben in here more often. He's just been quietly dropping out for the entire time he's been up here. Awesome.
Amazing. Well, we're 9 away from hitting 1,100, so that'll be a target for next time. We broke 1,000 this time. Thank you guys all for showing up. Thank you for everything you do. You can find myself, you can find Xavier, you can find Judson all in the Discord pretty frequently. If it's anything specific for Gabe or Eamon, we'll do our best to flag to them. And if not, thank you guys all for joining, and have an amazing evening or have an amazing day.